Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel Complicated Relationships Reddit Stories. Hope you guys are safe and healthy. Now let's see what the story is about today. I really don't know where to begin. I have destroyed my family, my husband is leaving me, and my children don't even want to be in the same room with me. I've been crying for weeks, and what hope is there when I can't even be honest to myself? Now, let me give you a little backstory. Also, a little reminder, please like and subscribe to the channel.
We have 4 children, and we've been together since I was 16, married for 18. I had a relationship with a coworker. It felt great for a while. Now, I am so ashamed I don't know the words to even describe it. I can't even look at myself in the mirror. Everybody hates me, including my own sister. She warned me that I was on a path to disaster if I didn't stop immediately and come clean. I was too selfish and stupid to see that. I was too wrapped up in myself to listen to her, so I refused to stop. She in turn cut me out of her life until she picked me up on D-Day. My husband started divorce proceedings. He has said he would come and talk to me the last 3 days, but hasn't shown up yet. I hurt him so badly. I broke him, my family, and my children. I wish I could take their pain away and just disappear. All I do is stay in bed staring at the ceiling, hating myself.
The therapist she has been seeing believes this may have started for her about 3 years ago.
My best friend from school died suddenly from cancer. She never married. She had an extravagant lifestyle. I have always admired her. I've been a stay-at-home mom for long periods when our children were little. The time at home with my children was the best time of my life. I started re-examining my life when my friend died, especially what I hadn't done. I became very critical of myself. I started feeling inadequate. My self-esteem plummeted. I had only ever been with my husband, and I started to resent him for it, like he had denied my experiences or something. In reality, I twisted it around in my head. I was the one that wanted marriage and a family. I felt like I should have done better with my life, experienced more, done more. Somehow, I managed to blame my husband for all of it, and gradually, over time, I would push my husband away. I had no reason at all to feel this way. I had a loving husband, happy children, a good job, great intimacy, nice vacations, friends, great extended family, and good economy. My life was wonderful by most measures. Of course, it wasn't perfect, but whose is?
Her younger sister got engaged around the same time. She had been a bit of a party animal growing up, and her fiancé was wonderful.
I became jealous of her, like her life had been better than mine somehow. My sister cheated on her fiancé before they got married, and he left her. She was devastated. She told me that it's her biggest regret, but it's only now that the shoe is on my foot that I understand her. Somehow, I got obsessed with her cheating. I started having fantasies about it, dreaming about it. So, about 7 months ago, I started to respond to flirting from a younger, married coworker. It turned into an emotional affair almost immediately. I loved the attention. He knew just what to say. The first 2 months was a whirlwind, so exciting. A massive rush. During this time, I neglected my husband and my family. I would deny my husband's intimacy, and I treated him very poorly. Somehow, I managed to resent him for what I was doing. I blamed him for the guilt I was feeling.
Looking back, she clearly sees how much she hurt him. She saw the pain on his face. The pain she so easily ignored at the time.
I remember how hard he tried to win me back, but at the time, I somehow managed to justify in my mind that what I was doing was my right. I deserved it. In my mind, everybody should just be happy for me. I managed to convince myself that I was entitled to this relationship, that it was good for me, and that nothing else mattered. It turned from an emotional affair to a physical relationship at around 2 months. It was mediocre at best. My AP was a very selfish lover. When it turned physical, the excitement I felt during it was emotional and started to slowly wear off, but I kept it going. I wanted that initial excitement back. But The more time I spent with the AP, the less I felt that initial rush. We never had a real or deep emotional connection. It was just pretend. Still, I actually believed I loved him.
She was also starting to feel guilty about what she was doing, and she took it out on her husband.
Somehow, I managed to blame him for how I felt and was absolutely terrible to him. Then, I felt guilty for that, blamed him for that too, and treated him even worse because of it. Around 2 months into the PA, I noticed a drastic change in my husband's behavior. He stopped trying to initiate. He stopped all the little things he used to do for me. He would be going out of his way to make me laugh or smile. He used to kiss and hug me all the time. He stopped including me in his life. He used to make my favorite meals on the days I had to work late. Now he has stopped doing that. He would only make food for himself and the kids. I tried arguing with him about it, but he just left the house without even saying a word. I didn't want to accept it. I was in denial, but I now know that he had completely disconnected from our relationship already. The thing with AP deteriorated quickly after that. Still, it continued for almost over a month before I finally broke it off with him. Strangely enough, I haven't had any desire to have any more contact with him. I started going to individual counseling. My therapist pretty much spelt it all out for me. I refused to come clean.
She started to desperately try to reconnect with her husband.
I was still in total denial. I managed to convince myself that if I acted like the perfect wife, he would come back to me. My husband showed no interest at all, but I thought he would come around eventually. I believed the crushing guilt would go away if I could reconnect with my husband. I believed we would return to normal, stronger than ever. He would never know the full truth of my betrayal. I would dress up the way he likes, spotlessly clean the house, try to initiate, cook his favorite food, anything I could think of. Nothing worked. Even if I tried to just touch his hand, he would pull away from me. My husband would barely look at me. When I tried to talk to him, in most cases, he wouldn't even respond. If he answered at all, it would be along the lines of, "I don't care." Deep down, I knew I had lost my husband. I just refused to accept it. Before this, whenever he looked at me, there was always this tremendous amount of love in his eyes. He would rest his eyes on me for long periods of time and just lovingly smile. Now, all that has stopped. Still, I managed to convince myself that we would be all right.
A few weeks ago, her husband was in the kitchen when she came home.
He was smiling for the first time in a long time. I sat down, and the rest of the conversation is actually a bit blurry, but I found out my husband knew about the betrayal almost the entire time. At the end of his speech, he told me we should divorce in such a way that he clearly expected me to enthusiastically want the same thing. The reality of my actions crashed in on me all at once. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't see clearly. I just couldn't form coherent thoughts or sentences. I don't know how long I sat there babbling, but my sister came and picked me up. She was talking to me in the car. I don't actually remember what she said. I think I was in shock.
Some days after that, her husband came to talk to her.
I had been desperately reading online about ways to fix a marriage after infidelity. I had even prepared a full written confession and a timeline for him. I offered him everything, a post-nup 100% in his favor, full access to everything, anything he wanted at any time, anything at all, if he would just stay with me. He took the timeline, but he didn't even want to read it. I confessed everything, and for a second, I saw that pain flash across his face again. The same pain that I had so easily ignored so many times during the time I was seeing the other man. Now, even that little flash was unbearable to me. I could see that he was clearly hiding this pain from me. This hurt me even more. He was still being courteous and fair with me, even though I didn't deserve any of it. Sitting there, I finally had to accept that there was no longer love for me in his eyes. The only thing I could see was distrust and disappointment. As he argued with me, I could no longer deny that this was all my fault. I had broken my husband's trust. I had broken him. He used to be kind, considerate, open, and full of jokes.
There is a new man in front of her that she created. He was somber, an emotional brick wall, a man who only cared about moving on.
He explained in excruciating detail how badly I hurt him, how he would never be the same. He told me that the love he once had for me was gone. He wants to start dating, he even has a woman in mind. He didn't want to cheat like me, so he wants to divorce as soon as possible. I can't really understand how I managed to mess up my life so badly. I've destroyed my family, and now my children will have to suffer through divorce and the pain of growing up in a broken home. At some point after that, I fell unconscious, and I woke up in the hospital. My sister was there, but my husband was not. That devastated me even more. I started calling everyone, confessing what I had done. I called the AP's wife, his parents, our friends, my employer. I resigned as well. Basically, I called everyone I could think of. Everybody hates me now, and I deserve it. Still, my husband isn't talking to me. I destroyed my family, broke the love of my life, and for what? Some cheap thrills? I don't understand how I could do this. Can I get my husband to talk to me? How can I even ask him to do that? How can I ever face my children again? What do I even say to them? I desperately want to repair this, but how could I even start? Is it even possible? I am completely lost.
End of the story. Well, OP, the best you can do going forward is to fix yourself so that you can be a better mother to your children and perhaps even a better partner to a new man. Whatever bridge you had with your husband is gone. You have burnt it. He is totally indifferent to you, and that's worse than hate. I would too if I were him, after many months of watching the love of my life treating me like garbage. Anyways, good luck to you. Also, dear listeners, what do you think? Let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section. Thank you all for listening. Please like, comment and share the video if you enjoyed it. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you will be notified when we upload the next video. Take care.